This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News, joined by Shane McGuigan here in Sheffield. Shane, the fight was going in one way, a technical draw though in the end for Caroline. Just sum up how the fight ended and your thoughts on that decision.
First off, let's just talk about the performance. I thought it was an amazing performance. She went out there, caught her within the first minute, fantastic backhand. You've seen Caroline drop people with a right hook, loops the backhand and stuff like that, and to the body she's hurt her bowlers, but you've never seen her drop girls. We have in the gym, but never seen her drop girls with a straight backhand on the pipe. So, and obviously being a right-handed southpaw, that's normally a weaker shot for those fighters. But just shows you how far she's come on technically, because she's able to generate the power there. Obviously, we're frustrated at the outcome, but you know, it was a bad decision. Kieran McCann did a terrible decision. Like, personally, as a referee, it's down to you to be, you know, the main decider of that cut, and that cut was running down the side of the eye. It wasn't running into the eye. I've got a lot of time for Kieran. I don't have anything against him personally. It's just that was a bad call, in my opinion. You know, the swelling on her right side was from a punch, and then she said she can't see, and this is from this side, but she actually couldn't see it from this side. She purely had vision out her left side. And that was the one that was caused by a head clash, because we saw it in the replay. Unfortunately, boxing's done on split decisions, and you can't revoke decisions like that. But you have to be able to. If that was any other sport, you'd overrule that, because that effectively, the fight was stopped anyway. The girl didn't want to know, but it has to be. It should be stopped, and I think we're going to have to put an appeal in to say it stopped, because she was vision. She just didn't want to continue. Let's just be real. I never ever want to speak ill of somebody. Do you know what I mean? But she just felt the power, and she did not want to continue. And they knew if the fight was stopped within the first 4 rounds on an accidental injury like an elbow or head clash, it goes to technical draw. So frustrated, but it's just the way it is, unfortunately.
I haven't obviously had the chance to watch it back from watching it there though, and I've seen some suggestions online that when the referee went back at the end of that second round, her corner team, Camera's corner team, Mrs. was suggesting to her maybe play up to the issue of the cut, because the fight could get stopped and then obviously goes to a draw. Have you seen that? Have you had those conversations?
I've just been in the change room. I haven't had a chance to see that, but I believe it. I believe it. It's at the end of the day, like, got to keep your career alive, and we have to understand it. But like, there's levels, and that fight was so one-sided. You know, this is just a shame that it ended with a accidental head clash, and it went to a draw.
As you said earlier on, though, it was obviously a very good performance up until that point. What pleased you the most, though, from Caroline's showing tonight?
The ruthlessness. She's on a mission. She's not playing no games anymore, honestly. She genuinely isn't. She just before, she's always given people a lot of respect, and as a fighter, you have to give people a lot of respect. But she now understands where she's at. She understands that she's levels above these girls. There's only 4 fighters in weight divisions up to light middle, you know, the whole way down to lightweight that can actually challenge her. She's better than them all, and it's just a matter of time. She's just turned 24 today. You don't see girls taking girls out like that and doing that to other fighters within 4 minutes. Her face was like a mess. So it's a ruthless sport, and sometimes it's hard to watch when it's so one-sided like that. But it's a business that we're in, and you know, she's not messing about.
In terms of what next for her, I know he's trying to make those unifications, but spoke to her on Thursday at a press conference, and she mentioned the name of Alicia Baumgardner at some point in the future. Is she, Alicia Baumgardner, that is one of those names that you think could challenge Caroline?
Yeah, I think like we've obviously got to try and get as many belts as possible. So there's 2 options. Do we go after all the titles, which Terry Harper's, you're going to go into that fight on the bookies, it's going to be extremely in Caroline's favour going into that fight. So do we go for world title fights, or do we go for names that are going to be more competitive? And then it's just down to the promotions, who can deliver what. You know, I think on that March 9th show in the Royal Albert Hall, I think it's going to be hard to get somebody with the credentials of Alicia Baumgardner, but it's just about keeping her busy and building her brand, because, you know, that superstardom doesn't quite correlate to ticket sales yet, but TV-wise, the viewing figures are starting to really get behind her and understand. So Sky are looking at the trends and they're realising that the trends are going up when she's boxing. There's that air of excitement. Doesn't always correlate to tickets on the gate, but it's only a matter of time before it does. And she's that breakout of the female fighters, and I believe she will be.
You've mentioned the name Beterbiev-Harper on a couple of occasions now, Shane, and we know in the past that she's been stopped on a few occasions. Do you think if she's watched that performance, and I imagine she would have done being in her weight class, it might put her off a little bit?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, she's going to want someone to take out a checkbook and pay the most amount of money. She knows that she's going to be forced to box Beatrice if she stays with Eddie of Matchroom, which is a very hard fight as well. So she's got some collateral now. She's got the belt. And I think that's what people want. And you got two ferocious fighters in Caroline and Beatrice that want that title. It's just about who's going to pay the most, and then she might look into it and think, if there's not much in the balance, I'm not going to land any punches against Caroline, I'm going to get taken out, or she might land a few punches against Beatrice. It might make it a bit more competitive, so she might take that fight, but at the end of the day, we're not going to get hung up and let somebody like that, no disrespect, stall her momentum. Her momentum's on the road. She's going at 100 miles an hour, and it will be one of them. A bit like Katie Taylor, it will be almost a privilege to box her. Where people can come back and go, I boxed that best female fighter on the planet. That's where I think she's going. So I think someone will take it.
Shane, listen, I appreciate your time. The night's ended relatively early on boxing terms, so you can try and get back, enjoy the rest of your night, enjoy your weekend. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, man. I'm driving home, so beat the traffic before tomorrow.